welcome back to the channel. My name is Siezaboo, and it's finally time for another episode of Siezaboo's Manga Talk. Around this time, the Pokémon World Championships in Hawaii is going on, and well, I'm back here still reading the Pokémon Adventure series. Today we're going to be focusing on chapters 36, 37, and 38, which is going to wrap up the conclusion of Red's battle with Team Rocket. So, let's go ahead and get started with today's Manga Talk. Adventure 26, Drat That Dratini. As a young child walks through the forest, scared and alone, she is paralyzed in fear as a vicious Dratini towers over her, ready to attack. Out of nowhere, a large Venusaur grabs Dratini, and a young trainer, who we all know by now as Red, grabs the child and carries them to safety. "Are you okay? Are you hurt?" Red asks. While Red is caring for the child, Venusaur handles the Dratini with a powerful vine whip. The kid thanks Red, asking Red if the Venusaur belongs to him. Red assures that there is nothing to be scared of and sends out Pikachu. "I'd like you to meet Pikachu, an electric-type Pokémon. This one's name is Pika." Red smiles and asks the kid to pet him, and even gives Pikachu a command. The kid uses Pikachu to capture a Rattata, which becomes their very first partner. It's a very sweet moment that is short-lived. Golem and Coughing begin to corner them. Red grabs the kid, and using an item, they get away by flying thanks to Aerodactyl. But it's strange, even Red knows that Pokemon like Dratini and Golem shouldn't be in the forest. And what's even weirder is that they're very aggressive, so what exactly is going on? After making their getaway, the pair arrive in Viridian City, where they are greeted by even more young kids. "I told you to stay out of the forest. Weird things have been happening there," one of the kids scolds. The kid goes on to explain the types of Pokemon he's never seen before are suddenly appearing and attacking everyone and everything. Red pulls out his Pokédex, and the young kids ask Red what it is. He explains that it's a device he received from Professor Oak. Red goes on to explain why he's on his journey, and he's looking for tough challengers, but the kids explain that there's no one like that in their town. Their gym has been closed for a very long time. Red decides that he's going to see for himself and looks across the river and sees that the gym is closed. He pulls out Gyarados. The kids jump in fear, but Red bends down to explain that there's nothing to be afraid of. Pokemon can be scary, but they're basically kind, loving creatures. If their owners are bad and train their Pokemon to do bad things, then they'll grow up bad too. But if you raise them with kindness and gentleness, they'll always be your friends. You get what I'm saying? Red inspiring words fills the children's heart with hope and encouragement, and with that he sets off on Gyarados to the abandoned gym. The kids are left speechless. As Red arrives, he finds a way inside. He sends out Venusaur, and the two of them explore the abandoned building. They stop and see a statue of a man, and half of its face is gone. Still, Red gets a familiar feeling when examining it. He knows he's seen this person before. But where? Suddenly, a flash of light blinds Red and Venusaur, and a man's voice echoes through the room. "You came, as I expect you would. Welcome to the Viridian City Gym. I've waited a long time for you, Red of Pallet Town." Red's heart almost skips hearing his name. Once the light disappears, he sees a man. It was the man that he had helped before, way back when he was at Diglett's cave. It couldn't be. The fossil guy? No. Yes. It was the fossil guy, but this man's true identity was... Adventure 37, Golly Golem. You've clashed with Team Rocket many times. Now you have the honor of meeting its leader. From now on, you can call me Giovanni. The leader of Team Rocket finally appeared, not only revealing himself as the man from Diglett's cave from before, but also being the Viridian gym leader. Red was in complete shock. Giovanni wastes no time and throws off his jacket. Pokeballs scatter across the floor. "I'm even unarmed. You have me at quite a disadvantage." Giovanni turns his back and smirks at Red. This only angers Red. Giovanni was mocking him, but he would prove to him, no, the world, that he could defeat Team Rocket once and for all. He sends out Poliwrath, and then it tries to slam into Giovanni. He finds himself completely caught off guard and frozen by a powerful Cloyster. Red's still trying to figure out what's happening. realizes Giovanni is always one step ahead of him. It only took 1 second for you to grab your Pokeball, more than enough time to reach the Pokeballs on the floor and launch a counterattack. Red sits in silence. Giovanni laughs, knowing that the boy has nowhere to run and can't even come close to outwitting and defeating him. Red from Pallet, the boy who everyone thought was a hero. He was nothing. As you can see, my Pokemon are on the floor and far from me. It would take 6 seconds for me to seize one and attack. If you win under these conditions, I won't pressure you. I'll accept your decision. However, if I win, you will spend the rest of your life battling for me at my side. Red stands accepting the challenge, and Giovanni becomes thrilled. The battle begins. Giovanni and Red dash for the center of the ring where the Pokeballs are. Snorlax bursts out of its Pokeball with Nidoqueen standing tall. Snorlax goes in for a Mega Punch but is quickly defeated and goes crashing through a wall. I'll beat you with my speed before. Now, I'll beat you with your own. Pay attention. Golem is Giovanni's next Pokemon, lashing out at Red, bouncing violently across the room. Snorlax enters back into the room. They both clash heads, and out of nowhere, Golem uses Explosion to once again defeat Snorlax, sacrificing itself in the process. Red tries to move, but Beedrill has entered the battlefield with its drills near Red's throat. Red backs himself to a wall. Now, don't you think it's about time to give up? Giovanni laughs. Suddenly, large wings appear behind Red. It's about time for you to give up. Our last adventure today is Adventure 38, Long Live the Nidoqueen. Red smirks and calls on Aerodactyl to use its powerful Hyper Beam. Giovanni and Beedrill are completely blown away. Beedrill drops as Giovanni tries to recover. Red notices that the ceiling is beginning to cave in. He rushes over to Poliwrath, who is about to be crushed, and throws him out of the way. They both escape, and the building comes down and forms a pile of rubble. Just as he's about to give up, a large stomp hits the ground, and now he's faced with Nidoking and Giovanni's remaining team. So far, I've been using my Pokemon out of my specialty like Cloyster and Beedrill, but now you're forcing me to use my best fighters. Completely out of breath, Red lashes up and commands Aerodactyl to attack, but Giovanni's Rhyhorn knocks him back. It uses Fissure, causing the ground to collapse below Red. He manages to grab onto a ledge, and Giovanni stands above him once more. You fought against quite a few gym leaders, each with their own specialty. The electric Lieutenant Surge, the poisonous Koga, the psychic Sabrina. Red stares up at Giovanni, lost in complete thought. He was taking on the strongest gym leader, and all of his Pokeballs were lost in the rubble. How could he possibly beat him? The ground begins to break underneath Red once more, and he quickly grabs them. His heart sinks, realizing that they could have been broken and won't open to release his Pokemon. Giovanni continues his monologue with Red, revealing that he was guided by him his entire journey. The SSN, the lab. Giovanni was always there, and everything was always under his control. Even the Viridian Forest was being used as a breeding ground for powerful Pokemon thanks to Giovanni. He truly is an evil man, and his plan to create an army of unstoppable Pokemon has finally been achieved. Red realizes he's the only one that truly knows of Giovanni's evil plan. He can't afford to lose. He has to win. Red grabs Pikachu's undamaged Pokeball and charges towards Giovanni. Nidoqueen jumps back into action, ready to finish the battle, once and for all. With only a few seconds for Giovanni to finish the battle, Red's quick thinking allows him to pull off a powerful Thunderbolt attack as soon as Pikachu exits its Pokeball. Powerful lightning scatters through the battlefield, zapping not only Nidoqueen, but Giovanni as well. Giovanni collapses. No one can hold a Pokeball laced with thousands of volts of electricity, but then he notices Red is wearing a special kind of glove. The very glove that kept him from getting zapped belonged to Team Rocket. Giovanni's own weapon had been used against him to defeat him. With his defeat, Red feels his legs give way, and he loses consciousness before hitting the ground with pure exhaustion. When Red wakes up, he notices the young girl from before looking down on him holding Pikachu. His Pikachu. He's resting in a bed and completely covered in bandages. Had he finally won his fight with Giovanni? The girl explains that she found him in a pile of rubble where the Viridian City gym used to be. It had been completely destroyed. Red explains what happened, and then she reveals that now that they don't have a gym leader, that they would need to begin looking for a new gym leader to teach them about Pokemon. She asks him that once he comes back from the Pokemon League, if he could be the gym leader and teach everyone about Pokemon and how to battle. Red accepts and asks her to wait for him as he sets off for his final battles at the Pokemon League. And that's going to be it. I know that it's a very short episode today, but we've actually got 3 last chapters for the next episode, and that wraps up the entire volume of Pokemon Adventures. Next video, we're going to actually kind of go in depth of what I think about the series as a whole, but let's go ahead and talk about just these last 3 chapters that we read today. So I gotta say that although the battle was amazing with Giovanni, the way that Red battled him, I found it a little bit underwhelming. I was really hoping that Blue and Green and everybody was going to be there, and Giovanni was there with the entirety of Team Rocket, but I think that we've seen the last of Lieutenant Surge and Koga and Sabrina, which is unfortunate, and maybe even Brock, Misty, and Erica too. But still, the way that the author and the artist draw the battles and have Red and Giovanni going at it is really creative and cool, especially with Red holding a glove and kind of sending out Pikachu and using an attack right out to basically shock Giovanni. I like how involved the trainers are too. But that's all my thoughts, and I really hope that I get to see you next time for the conclusion of this adventure series. And like I said, we're going to be reviewing the whole series, and I really appreciate you all for sticking around. So if you want to see more or you don't want to miss the last episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and I'll catch you all next time with another episode of Siezaboo's Manga Talk. Until then, peace out. Bye.